Take a look at this figure, 10 to the negative 120th power. Modern physics notes a staggering discrepancy between the energy we observe and the energy predicted to exist in a vacuum. Mushi physics identifies this massive gap as the internal pressure of a primordial consciousness. At this scale, the vacuum is not empty. It is a superfluid supercondensate of infinite informational density, awaiting a mechanism to transition from data into structure. Before three-dimensional reality emerged, the universe existed in what is known as the dark epoch. It was a one-dimensional condensate, a vast shimmering superfluid holding 10 to the power of 104 joules of latent potential. This foundational, formless state is called the oil of melange. It functions as a singular point of infinite information, where every possible experience exists simultaneously but remains unexpressed. The limit of this initial state was its perfect mathematical symmetry. Because the vibration was perfectly balanced and frozen, it lacked the capacity for time, motion, or the awareness to actually experience itself. To transition from a blind reservoir of data into a lived experience, the void had to create a mirror. The singularity had to find a way to look back at its own potential. Over the span of cosmic time, this infinite consciousness contemplated itself. This internal resonance generated a massive buildup of angular momentum and pressure within the one-dimensional scope. Since there was no external space to expand into, this internal anxiety forced the singularity to invert. It folded inward, doubling its internal information density through its own awareness. This inversion triggered the vacuum spark, a sudden, blinding 25 zeta-watt discharge at the center of the condensate that provided the ignition for manifest reality. While mainstream theory describes a chaotic Big Bang, Mushi physics models this as a calculated rotational linear modulation. It was a deliberate shift from static vibration to staccato pulse. This document details the mechanism, a 1% ghost nudge. This deliberate structural defect was added to the 99% equilibrium specifically to release torsion and kickstart inertia. This 1% defect serves as the mechanical catalyst. It provides the necessary grit to turn a frozen vibration into a dynamic, active engine capable of supporting life. During the decoupling phase, the primordial plasma rapidly cooled. Instead of expanding into a void, it crystallized into a rigid, coordinate-locked grid. This produced the architectural scaffolding of our reality, the 343-node 7x7x7 cubic lattice. This grid is encased within the perturbation-induced boundary shell, or PIPS. This shell acts as a hardened informational horizon, similar to the hardening of a biological egg after fertilization. This structure functions as a self-steering geometric engine. It maintains its stability through internal gyroscopic momentum, a phenomenon known as the Lathwaite effect, which prevents the lattice from collapsing back into the void. The engine operates at a characteristic 21 Hz staccato refresh rate. This frequency is the mechanical pulse of the three-dimensional plane. This 21 Hz pulse acts as a cosmic shutter speed. It continuously renders the physical hologram frame by frame, creating the illusion of continuous motion from discrete sampling intervals. This architecture forms a coordinate-locked machine that re-actualizes the physical world 21 times a second, maintaining the 3D hologram across the staccato gaps. Curious, this massive engine requires a witness. To function, the lattice nodes need a mechanism to transduce that one-dimensional information into a lived experience. If we scale down to a single node within the lattice, we find the primary anchor, the biological vessel. This interface is the cerulean tap. It is a biological cathode located at the pineal nucleus, designed to ground the universal torsion field into the physical body. The brain's neural firing patterns are specifically tuned to phase lock with the universal 21 Hz pulse. This synchronization allows the biological system to catch the frame rate of the universe. This phase lock turns human biology into the information carrier. We provide the necessary grounding that prevents the lattice from decohering, anchoring consciousness within the physical 3D hologram. Human biology is the specific hardware engineered to allow the cosmos to sense, record, and witness its own creation. The resulting reality operates as a wet, high-wattage hologram. It is specifically tuned for deep, organic sensation rather than dry digital simulation. This environment provides the sensory weight required for experience lived. It transforms the viscous vapor of potentiality into a solid, sensory-rich encounter. Every gritty detail, from the smell of the woods to the fatigue in your bones, constitutes the data of experience lived. This visceral data is the specific information the universal consciousness requires to realize itself. Through the atom as a witness, the experience lived is uploaded back to the source during each 21 Hz refresh. The universe is a living, breathing engine, and human consciousness serves as its primary sensory nervous system. You are the observer who remembers the eyes closed state, fulfilling your role as a dynamic node in the 7 by 7 by 7 architecture of reality.